about 7 years now, and I actually started off with a fashion show. I learned how to walk there, and then I've walked for about 40 to 50 international designers. I've been in LA Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week. I was a model coach for a couple fashion shows. And throughout all of that, I've learned so much, and I kind of compiled it into one video to give to you guys. So you can get, 8 years of experience in about 20 minutes. So to start off, to practice your runway walk, you will need shoes, a runway, and some music. If you're just starting off, do yourself a favor and start off with a shoe that's about 3 inches high, something like this. Even if you're not gonna wear them out, I got these at a thrift store for $3. You buy them, use them to practice in them. And this will help you a lot because the last thing you want to worry about is learning how to walk in heels. So yeah. Once you learn how to walk, then you can move up in heel size. You are a model, you are supposed to show up, and if a designer gives you a 6-inch stiletto and says go, you are supposed to take the shoe and to go. You are a model, you are supposed to know how to walk in the tallest heels. So don't start here, but just use this to start. This will help you tremendously. I always brought a nude pair of heels and a black pair of heels to any show, just in case the designer didn't have shoes. Nude and black are pretty safe. The designer really doesn't say anything about nude or black. It pretty much goes with everything. The shoes that I would always have with me, they're from Aldo. I would opt out for the Forever 21 shoes. They're very cute, but when you are walking a runway about 20 times a day, your feet will not last. They will not last, and if your feet hurt, it will show in your walk, and so you'll be really happy that you invested just a little bit more in a more expensive heel. I feel like they're made a little bit better, more. I feel like they're made to last. Wait, what am I trying to say? I feel like they're made to let you last longer in them, and so that helps as well. Do yourself a favor, invest a little bit more in your heel. But these, when you're starting off walking, you can get just a super cheap heels. Have your practice heels and have your runway heels. So the next thing is your upper body. Your shoulders are extremely important when you walk. So your shoulders should sit nicely back and down. None of this. Back. You're tall. You're open. Nice frame. I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's okay. Your shoulders should sit back and down. You should really feel like this one line going from each side. This will set a really good posture for you, your walk, and also the garments that you're modeling. So once your shoulders are down, your head is going to want to remain straight. You're not going up, you're not going too down. The prayer hands is a really good indicator. Just go right under your chin, right here, and just eyes forward, nothing too serious. Shoulders down, head forward. Do not look down. Don't look down. If you need to look down because there's stairs on a runway, if you need to know where you're stopping at the end of the runway, sometimes people are on the runway, like their feet are on the runway. If you need to look down, make sure you look ahead. Don't look straight down, look ahead and down. So just kind of, 5 seconds ahead, and then make a mental picture of where you need to stop or where your people are or where the stairs are. But just make sure you don't, none of this. Once you have your shoulders down, back, your head's forward, you're not going to look down, you're kind of locked in here. Someone once told me to imagine that you have an invisible string that's going from the top of your head and it's attached to the ceiling. That's just pulling you up, and that just, elongates you just a little bit extra. So shoulders back and down, chin forward, and everything just lifted up. Okay, so when you actually walk, your feet are the foundation for everything. When you walk in heels, whether you're on or off a runway, make sure that you guys are walking one foot in front of the other, okay? This isn't the 90s, we don't have to do this thing. Just one foot in front of the other, natural, perfect. You look a lot more elegant when you do this. And as you do that, you will notice that your hips have a natural sway. Don't fight it. If anything, accentuate it. This is where you kind of get your classic Victoria's Secret, strong, confident, you know, runway. If you can, try to, as soon as your left foot hits the floor, your right hip will go out. And when your right hip goes out, kind of hit it out as if, you know, someone told me once, as if you're playing ping pong with the wall with your hips. So just kind of, you know, just accentuate those hips and you will get that kind of Victoria's Secret-esque strong model walk. Another thing is when you put your foot down, put your foot down. I have seen so many models that they walk lightly, or they don't want to be heard, or, you know, they're just not strong. But when you are on a runway, you must demand attention. The way you walk, the way that you hit those steps are the way, like, people read that. People can really, really read that. And so as soon as you walk on the runway, hit those steps, hit those hips, demand attention. You want all eyes are on you, and you will feel that all eyes are on you, and you know, feed off of that energy and just kill it. Okay, legs. You are a model, you are tall, you are lengthy. Use them. When you walk down a runway, stride, make long strides. When you do this, your legs should not bend. The only time that your legs should bend is when you're picking up your foot. But as soon as you put it in front of you, it should be straight. To help with this, you guys can make sure that you point your toe as well when you walk in heels. It'll help the way that your heel falls on the floor. And overall together, it just looks so good. Your legs should not bend. Please don't forget this. Your walk, just this little thing can improve your walk so much. So make sure that you have long legs and long strides when you guys walk. So as you walk with your legs completely straight, your toes are pointed, your hips are swaying from side to side, all of this kind of helps if you tuck your pelvis forward. It'll help you have control over your hips, your legs, and your feet. Control is a very big thing because some girls walk and their arms are everywhere, their legs are everywhere. So worst comes to worst, I mean, just have control over everything, which is really why I'm breaking everything down, is so that you have control over everything when you walk. Arms, okay, arms, nothing too crazy with the arms. When I first started how to walk, I had a tendency to sway this one like normally, and then this one would just be straight down. So have someone watch you and tell you. That really, really helps. Because if you just go off of feeling, everything that I'm saying is gonna feel really weird, but it looks good, so it's okay. Or, you know, you just won't catch like something so simple as your arms. Something that really helped me was if you just take the middle fingers of your hands and just graze them along your thighs as you walk. You'll feel them and you'll know exactly where they are at all times, and it'll keep you accountable. So that really helped me, and that's all. Now that you've made your way to the end of the runway, we're going to talk about poses. Poses, it really depends on the designer. I always ask a designer what we're doing at the end. Sometimes a designer just wants you to, you know, not even stop and just go around. Or like a 1 second turn, or a 2 second end of the runway thing, or they wanted 2 poses, that kind of takes a while. And then, you know, to turn back around. I always like turning back around and looking at the camera for as long as I can until my body kind of rips me away from the camera. I think that looks better. It's really up to you. So when you guys are, you know, given a really complicated garment to walk in, whether it has a long train or you're doing a big gown that you're tripping over, try to practice backstage, figure out a method, ask the designer if you can hold a gown, or if you have a train, you know, don't be afraid to swing it around. Sometimes big swift movements help a lot more. If you're walking in a gown, make sure that you kick your feet out so that you're kicking the gown away from your foot so that you don't trip on it. Make sure that you are putting your weight on the opposite foot that you're going to walk away with. Make sure that you don't make it harder for yourself and kind of put your foot around the other one to turn around, because then you get tangled and then that's when you fall. Speaking of falling, if you were to fall on a runway, if you were to trip, don't worry, it happens to everyone. I have fallen many times, and it's okay. It's all about how you get up and you carry on. If you fall or trip, just get up and act like nothing happened. I have a tendency to be very mad at myself once I fall, and you can see it on my face. People have told me this, and it kind of ruins the rest of your walk. If you fall, pick yourself up and just keep going. It's totally okay. Just get up and keep going, and try not to show it too much on your face. When you do a finale walk, some designers don't really do this. If they say yes to a finale, it's most likely gonna just be your classic waterfall where everyone walks out in a line. Don't be the one that has like a big gap in front of you and the other model. If you're sent out a couple seconds after the other model before, try your best to, reduce the gap, because it looks really bad in my opinion if there's like 5 feet in front of this person and 3 feet in front of everybody else. So, just use your judgment and kind of swiftly go through that. If the designer says clap while you walk, do not clap up here. Clap down here. You're a model. We want to see your face, so show your face. You will also get more pictures at the end of the runway, so don't do this. Don't do this. Clap here. They just need to hear you clap. They don't need to see you clap. That is pretty much all for your walk. If you follow those, have somebody watch you and tell you, film yourself. Ask others to film you if you're at a casting, or well, maybe not a casting. Practice. I've been modeling for 7 years, and still when I walk into a casting for a runway show, I review all of these things. There are so many tedious things that you have to remember that play a very big part. Watch your models that you love. I, watch Tyra Banks all the time, Candace, Giselle, just so many models that have these really strong walks. Notice what I'm telling you and see if you can see that in other models. Just copy what they do. If you love their walk, then try to see things how they do and incorporate them into your walk, and just practice, and you'll have your own walk, your own unique walk, and just practice and just practice. Okay, that's pretty much it for your walk. On the day of the show, a few things that I like to bring to make it easier on myself is my own shoes, my own heels that I know I can last about 3 hours in. I have a little pouch with, like boob tape. I have pasties because when I was 17, my dad used to come to the shows and I was mortified that I was gonna have a nip slip in front of him. I bring tape or band-aids because if your feet hurt, if you have blisters, if your heel is cutting into your skin, that will show in your walk. So when you're practicing and rehearsing, also wear socks in your shoes so you're not, ruining your feet. Save your feet for the show. Yeah, band-aids, tape, anything that would make it easier for me to walk. Also, I like to bring the clear rubber insoles that you can put in any shoe. This is because if a designer gives you a shoe and they might be 2 sizes too big, but you have to make it work. There's nothing that they could do about it. If they're boots, you kind of, put more socks in them. If they're not, then I really like these rubber insoles that they just hold your foot in more. This job isn't always easy, so just bring things that you can bring that will make your life easier. Those are a couple things that I like to bring. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this helps. I hope that this gets you started if you're aspiring or if you've been modeling for a couple years now. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy that I was able to share this with you. And yeah, good luck, you guys.